coming up by
UHD quality video streaming Samaga. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
See that out.
IWS Aviation.
But if she doesn't lay eggs, she'll have to go.
UHD quality video streaming. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Arts Television. I'm Mishain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. Central Bank increases policy rates in 5 months. Governor announces. Most dengue infections are from the western and eastern provinces. Health Ministry officials warn. News in detail. Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral said that the Monetary Board decided to increase policy rates after 5 months to deliver a message that inflation was being dealt with and that the external sector needs to be stabilized further. Governor Cabral, speaking at a press conference at the Central Bank this morning, announced that almost all the measures they tried in order to stabilize the external sector brought satisfactory results and that the bank is also ready to accept any other positive proposals.
The central bank decided that we would once again, after a period of about 5 months, that the policy rate would be increased, mainly because we want to give a very clear message that we would want to see the inflation being dealt with, and also to give a message that the external sector needs to be stabilized further. If you see one item of our policy measures, we have reached an agreement with the licensed commercial banks that they too would be bearing the financing and the arrangement of the financing of certain essential goods, so that essential goods are not only put as a burden to the state banks, so it will be in proportionate to the dollar earnings as well as the dollar incomes that they receive. We would be negotiating with them and they'll be taking a part of those bills as well, so that there will be a great stability in the overall external sector. The different strategies that we have implemented are all working, and when we get further ideas, even if you give us a good idea, we might be humble enough to implement, because we think that it is necessary for us to explore all avenues, and if there are different ways in which some people are not adhering to the law, we have to take action there as well. And if we have to give more incentives, and those incentives are sufficient for us to get additional funds to come in, we will explore those as well.
Government yesterday expressed its displeasure over Sri Lankan politicians who complained to foreign leaders regarding the country's internal issues. Questioned by the journalist, Cabinet Minister stressed that the 13th Amendment to the Constitution has been implemented, and if someone has any concern, must talk to the President of Sri Lanka and not the Prime Ministers of our neighbouring countries.
Yeah, Minister, that last evening, a group of Tamil political party leaders, some MPs, they handed over a letter to Indian High Commissioner to send to Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to implement the 13th Amendment. So what is the response on Cabinet?
In relation to 13th Amendment, we have fully implemented 13th Amendment, and as you know, representatives are also elected several times. Actually, when the war came to an end in 2009, his successor president, then the President Mahinda Rajapaksa, conducted elections in both northern and eastern provinces. So it's implemented 13th Amendment and there is no concern about it, and I'm particularly not aware of the letter they handed over yesterday, but as per the agreement, we have implemented the 13th Amendment.
If our Tamil parties have any concern or worry about the implementation of the 13th Amendment, they should have conveyed their concerns to our President instead of Indian Prime Minister, because we are a sovereign country, not a part of Indian Union. So our Tamil brothers has any issue with regard to implementation of the 13th Amendment, they should have talked to our elected government instead of outsiders.
Energy Minister Uday Gammapilla yesterday categorically refused to admit that the Norochcholai coal power plant was a failed project despite its frequent breakdowns. Minister Gammapilla, who promised that there won't be a fuel shortage in the country, also assured that once the Norochcholai coal power plant was fully operational, the current power crisis in Sri Lanka will also be resolved.
What is the situation with the Norochcholai coal power plant? I mean, since when the plant was constructed, the idea given at the time was that Sri Lanka will never face a power crisis herein as a result of that power plant. I mean, is it a situation now where we are understanding that the Norochcholai coal power project was a failure or a failed project as a whole?
At all, if somebody has mentioned that we would not have faced a power crisis because of the Norochcholai power plant, it was of course a myth. As Buddhists, we believe everything is impermanent. That is the case with the Norochcholai power plant as well. So there are breakdowns, so there are maintenance issues. In such situations, it may not be operational. At the moment, one power plant, there are 3 power plants, 300 megawatt each. One power plant is under repair at the moment. According to the CEB sources, it will be operational from 24th, most probably on 22nd, 24th the latest. So thereafter, this situation would be eased out.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break.
Alexa, get me some extra GB.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, manage your SLT Mobitel home services with an Alexa device or the app.
Connecting you with the latest tech.
SLT Mobitel, the connection.
Welcome back after the break. Government yesterday warned of a rapid rise in dengue fever cases in the wake of monsoon rains, which provide perfect breeding sites for mosquitoes. Health Ministry officials warned that most of the infections were recorded in the Western Province and in the Eastern Provinces, Batticaloa district, where population density is high. At a government media conference held yesterday, Additional Secretary to the State Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government, Maheshika Koripiliarachi, announced an initiative dubbed as Supirisidu Parisarayak Nirogimat Hetak. Additional Secretary Koripiliarachi said that the event, which started today and continues tomorrow, will utilize services of the 341 local government institutions to target and destroy mosquito breeding sites. The initiative will prioritize areas which have reported cases of dengue. During the event, Dr. Indika Veerasinghe of the National Dengue Control Unit commented that by the end of December 2021, over 9,000 dengue cases were reported, and as at that moment, 5,106 cases were reported for January 2022. Speaking at the same event, Dr. Nimalka Panilihetty of the National Dengue Control Unit stated that the Ministry of Health alone cannot manage the situation and requires the support of other ministries who play a key role in the overall dengue control effort. Additionally, Director of the State Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government, NDN Pushpakumara, elaborated on the responsibilities of the public towards supporting these efforts.
එකතු කර ගැනීමේ වගකීමෙන් කොටසක් යනවා එකතු කරලා ලබා දීම ශ්‍රී ලංකා පුරා ජීවත් වෙන ජනතාව කසල බැහැර කිරීම ස්ථාන වශයෙන් ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් නිවස තියෙනවා එසේම කර්මාන්තශාලා තියෙනවා ඒතර හැම ස්ථානයකම ජනන වෙන කසල ලබා ගැනීම සිදු වෙන පළාත් පාලන ආයතනද පළාත් පාලන ආයතන මෙම ක්‍රියාවලිය සඳහා සුජීව දායකත්වය ලබා දෙන මේ දවස් දෙකේ ඒතර කසල ලබා දීමේදී කසල එක්රැස් කර වර්ගීකරණය කර ඒ ආයතන විසින් දැනටම ලංකාවේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වන පරිදි කසල වෙන් කර තමයි ලබා ගන්නෙ මේ දවස් දෙකේදී විශේෂයෙන්ම වෙන් කර ඔබගේ කසල ලබා දුන්නොත් ඔවුන් විසින් ලබාගෙන නිසි ලෙස බැහැර කිරීම අදාළ ස්ථාන වලට රැගෙන යනවා එසේම ඔබ බලන්න ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ සිටින සියලුම පුරවැසියන් ඉල්ලා සිටින ජීවත් වෙන පරිසරයේ නිවස පිටලා තියෙන පරිසරය අවට බලන්න දවස් දෙකේ තුල කොපමණ නොදිරන කසල ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවාද කියලා බලලා ඒ ප්‍රමාණය නිසිලස එක්ස්ට්‍රැස් කර අදාළ පළාත් පාලන ආයතනයට බාර දෙන්න ඒ සඳහා සම්බන්ධීකරණය කිරීමට පළාත් පාලන ආයතනය විසින් දැනටමත් කටයුතු සංවිධානය කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔබට ඔබගේ වගකීම තියෙන්නේ ඔබ විසින් ජනනය කරන කසල නිසිලස එක්ස්ට්‍රැස් කර බාර දීම.
Yesterday, 9 hospitals received COVID-related equipment worth $400 million under the Japanese aid program conducted by the Japan International Cooperation Agency. JICA has been supporting the nation's health service over many years, and the equipment handed over yesterday includes PCR kits, ICU beds, ICU equipment and ventilators. The official handover of equipment yesterday also coincided with the 70th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two nations. The event occurred under the patronage of Japan's ambassador to Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideki, and Sri Lanka's Minister of Health, Kehlia Rambukwala. Speaking at the event, Minister Kehlia Rambukwala cited the many years of friendship between the two nations and praised Japan for the support that has been extended to Sri Lanka over the years.
Firstly, let me thank Government of Japan, who have been extremely generous with Sri Lanka all the years that I can remember of. It's unique. We are celebrating the 70th, over a period of 70th. I think Japan has been our best friend in terms of assistance, in terms of commerce, economics, and also the cultural friendship and the mutual friendship we have been nurtured over a period of time. Apart from that, if you look at our infrastructure development fund, which is an annual fund which we have been working for the last 30 years, 60% of that annual fund has been always, you all have been generous enough to accommodate that. So all in all spheres, the government of Japan has become the closest friends to us in terms of assistance.
The Tamil National Alliance yesterday faulted the government's policy statement delivered by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on Tuesday after inaugurating the second session of the 9th Parliament. TNA spokesman M.S. Mandiran told the Parliament that the statement failed to address any of the pressing issues facing the country, adding that it had also not contained any meaningful response to lack of dollar shortage in the country.
He identifies the issue. He lays the blame on the shoulders of someone else, albeit his own brother, but doesn't provide a solution or direction. A policy statement of a government is one that gives a direction, one that points in a particular way to give the people confidence, one that says this is the path that we will trod, this is how we intend tackling this issue. While he makes the statement, we are told by text messages that another $500 million has been put into our begging bowl. It's like a daily existence now for this country. Someone has to, we hold a bowl and we are waiting out there. And someone has to come and give us the next meal. That is the level to which the country's finances have come to.
Stay tuned for stock updates.
Alexa, get me some extra GB.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, manage your SLT Mobitel home services with an Alexa device or the app.
Connecting you with the latest tech.
SLT Mobitel, the connection.
Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The All Share Price Index dropped 101.22 points to close at 13,361.17 and the S&P SL 20 dropped 14.04 points to close at 4,609.91. The turnover was 7 billion rupees and over 255 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.